Welcome to the 43rd episode of Lalitha Sahasranam Stotra. The unconditional cosmic energy source manifesting itself in thousand small doses so that the entire mankind can make use of this nourishment towards establishing the universal harmony. That is the essence of Lalita Divya Rahasya Sahasranam Stotra. Let us move on. The next nama is Sakti Kutaikatapanna Kachadobhagadarini. Sakti Kutaikatapanna Kachadobhagadarini. So we are discussing about post-Pandasura, post-inertia effect, the verification mechanisms to establish that inertia effects have been removed completely. So to that extent, Srimad Vagbhava Kutaiga Swarupa Mukha Pankaja. So in this nama, Pankaja means not only just the lotus, it's a blossomed lotus. So there is a clear signature involved post Pandasura. So Sakti Kutaikatapanna Kachadobhagadarini. So the region below the waist, there is a presence of the latent potential that has the power to evaporate, that transform the energy into vapor form. So that is Sakti Kutaika Tapana Kachato Bhagadarini. Tapam is it is a process of latent transformation from one form into the vaporized form. So there is a latent potential involved in this nama. Sakti Kutaika Tapanna Kachato Bhagadarini. So in Nijaruna Prabhava Pura Madhyad Brahmana Mandala, we have discussed after resetting of the faculties, the rising sun brightness, the radiance of rising sun, within that radiance, there's a floating effect of all the inner universe. So that was covered in Nijar Prabhava Purmadhyat Brahmana Mandala. So the entire body is the inner universe within is floating. It's going up and down in the brightness, in the sea of brightness of the rising sun. And the reason for this is the rising sun brightness associated with the Muladhara Chakra. So therefore here in this nama, Sakti Kutaikatapana Kachado Bhagadarini, the latent potential that can transform the energy into the vapor form. So that means there is a presence of the energy, and that energy is the Muladhara Chakra. So if there is a transformation that is happening into the vapor form, that means there is some hidden potential, and that is the potential of the Muladhara Chakra. So therefore the order is established within, after the subsequent to the Pandasuras, termination, and so everything is normal, is established, and the nourishment to the 32 characteristics of Srimadvagbhava Kutayaka Swarupa Mukha Pankaja, and subsequently the Shodasha Guna or 16 characteristics of Kantada Katipariyanta Madhyakuta Swarupini. So this nourishment, the root of this nourishment is coming from the latent potential that is present in the Muladhara. So just as if after the severe cyclone there's a normalcy, there's a peace after the deadly cyclone effect. Just in the same manner, there's a normalcy established in the body, that is after the termination of Mandasura or inertial effect. So that is Sakti Kutayaka Tapana Kachaddo Bhagadarini. So through this nama, the energy flow effects originating from Mooladhara and then giving rise to this exhibition of speech synthesis, covering the face, giving rise to 32, and from the throat till the Mooladhara, the 16 characteristics. So the nourishment to all this happening from Mooladhara. The root for all this is happening from Mooladhara, and having such characteristics of faculty of intellect. Therefore, faculty of intellect receives training through this nama. The next nama is Moola Mantratmika. Moola Mantratmika. So, the mantra, the root of the mantra in this nama, through this nama, the soul connection is establishes. The soul connection is being established. The root of mantra is the soul connection. So here we have to understand what is mantra. First, so mantra means ma. If mantra is been dissected, the word ma plus na plus ta plus ra, so that is mantra. So ma means the earth element of Panchabrahmas. Na means the water element of Panchabrahmas. Ta is Tamoguna, Ra is Rajoguna. So therefore, mantra means, and if tamogunas and rajogunas are mixed, then sattvagunas originate. So mantra means having the faculty of intellect and faculty of discretion of Panchabrahmas, and using these faculties performing the action item or karmacharana. Or in other words, the faculty of intellect of Panchabrahma having tamogunas, faculty of discretion of Panchabrahmas having rajogunas, and they are operating in Vamachara or Dakshinayana. and not in harmony, because they're one directional. There is no the unification of northbound and southbound is not happening. It's only southbound that is operating, and through this southbound characteristics, performing the karmacharana or action. So mantra also means, as we discussed, the discretion, faculty of discretion and faculty of intellect. So it is also the bridge. It also describes the bridge between faculty of discretion and faculty of intellect. Because faculty of discretion is earth element and faculty of intellect is the water element. So there is a bridge, there is a connection between these two faculties, and through this connection, through this bridge, the faculty of mind traverses back and forth, carrying the information between these two faculties. That is mantra. So, in Srimad Bhagavad Kutega Swarupa Pankaja, the 9 indriyas, that is 4 faculties and 5 senses. So the origin for this, so the nine indriyas, the karmacharana or action performed by the 9 indriyas, the root for this is the navel. So in this case, if it's only the southbound and not in the harmony, there is no balancing that is happening in the Mula Mantratmika. So where is the nourishment that is coming from? While in the Srimad Bhagavad Kuteka Swarupa Mukha Pankaja, the nourishment is the navel, that is Brahmagrandhi, and the Brahmagrandhi itself is nourished, must be getting the nourishment from some other source. So we will discuss that in the coming Nama. But if it is southbound, where is the nourishment that is coming for this Nama? So the nourishment should be coming from a definite source, and that is the soul connection. Therefore, through the Mula Mantratmika, the soul connection, through the soul connection, the northbound and southbound forces receive the nourishment. Not only that, the witness mode also receives the nourishment from the soul connection. So in this, when in this mode of nourishment, in order to establish the harmony between the northbound and southbound forces, the minds of Panchabrahmas, the minds of Narayani, that is northbound mind and southbound mind, they work in unison, they oscillate in unison to establish the harmony. And in order to do that, the soul is supplementing the nourishment. So there's a step-by-step improvement that is happening from Srimad Bhagavad Kuteka Swarupa Mukha Pankaja, where the facial characteristics involving 32, the nourishment for that is through the navel, Brahmagrandhi, and subsequent is Kantada Kantiparayana Majjakota Swarupini, where the unfolded effects of effects from throat till the Muladhara. The 16 characteristics covered. Now the inner layer is further opened up, and that is soul connection is now effects of soul connection surfaces through Mula Mantratmika. And so in this case, the speech synthesis is like itself is like a mantra. So there is a balance effect that is happening, because Srimad Vagbhav Kuteka Swarupa Mukha Pankaja. So through that the northbound effects are highlighted, and the Kandada Katiparyanta Madhyakuta Swarupini, through this Nama, northbound effects are highlighted related to speech synthesis. Now Mula Mantratmika, it refers to the Panchabrahmas, faculty of discretion and faculty of intellect. So southbound operation effects are highlighted in the speech synthesis, and for all this the nourishment is coming from the soul, that is present at the Muladhara. That is Mula Mantratmika. So Mula Kuta Traya Kalevara. Next Nama is Mula Kuta Traya Kalevara. The skeleton that is lifeless. So in that skeleton, the three the three forms of energy of Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra are injected with the life force coming from the soul energy. So this Nama further establishes the soul connection. Mula Kuta Traya Kalevara. Traya here is Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra. That is origin, then the happening, and the termination. So the three parts, for any action there is a three parts. That is, first there is an origin, and then there is a progress, there is an action, and then there is a termination. So that is Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra. So when these forms are gone, then it's just like a skeleton. And when these forms have been nourished, then it becomes life force. Now through this Nama, so these three, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, refers to the three Gandhis, Brahma Gandhi, Vishnu Gandhi and Rudra Gandhi. And the nourishment for these three is through the soul connection, that is in Muladhara. Now so this hypothesis that soul resides in Muladhara may surprise many people, but it is true. So there was a lot of people believe that soul resides in the brain, in the middle of the brain, but that is not true. So if soul is the lightest form of energy, lightest entity in the body, and having the potential of highest energy also at the same time, there is nothing lighter than the soul in this body. And let us assume that soul is present in the brain, in the head, in the middle of the head, and the head is rotated or is bent, or if it is running, if a person is running or doing all kinds of exercises, so the entity that is supposed to be the lightest, how can it be stable if it is residing in the head, in the brain? So it would definitely wants to come out with all these dynamics that are happening. So for the soul to reside, it needs a stable position. So the stable position is where even if the person is running, sitting, sleeping, whatever the action the individual is doing, the soul is not being affected. It is perfectly anchored. And such a position is the center of gravity, center of mass, where these two are coinciding. That is that point, and that is Mooladhara. So it cannot be the head. And this has been supported also in lot of art work of the famous artists like Michelangelo in Italy, and other artists, where they depict the Mooladhara, the point where center of mass and center of gravity, they highlight that in a human body. And so that is a location of the soul present in the body. So let us see if we can provide any other evidence for this for this hypothesis that soul is residing in the Mooladhara. So there are two ways that soul departs from the body at the time of death. One is it becomes light, or is satisfied, and it ejects out from the top corridor, that is above navel. There are corridors of exiting above navel, through the mouth, through the nose, and through the eyes, etc., and even through the top of the head. And these are the corridors when the soul is happy, satisfied, content, and it is very light. And there are other corridors of exit below navel. And so when the soul is heavy, or it is dissatisfied, discontentment, it is not happy, it becomes heavy, and hence it exits through the corridors below navel. Now, let us assume if the soul is present in the head, in the middle of the head, and if it is not everybody, the soul may be satisfied. For those individuals who are dissatisfied, the soul is dissatisfied, discontentment. So in the process becomes heavy, and at the time of the death, where the energy itself is depleted, how can the soul travel all the way from the head to the corridors below navel and exit out? It has to pass through so many hurdles on the way, and it will never be able to see the end of the tunnel. Whereas if the soul is present in Mooladhara, which is the closest to the corridors of exit below navel, so if it is heavy, it may just have sufficient energy just to exit out, just to make an exit. And if it is light anyway, and is satisfied and content, it has enough energy to pass through the the three gandhis and then come out from the top. So therefore, this theory that soul is present in the head is not correct. It is disproved through this analysis. Soul is present in the Mooladhara. But however, many people experience when they meditate, when they turn inward, there's a presence of light that is seen in the head, and they presume that it is a soul energy. So that energy, that the light that they perceive in the meditation is not the soul energy. It is the inner guru, internal guru, who is present between these two eyebrows in the forehead. The inner guru is communicating that I am here, and that radiance is seen in the head. So that is been misinterpreted as the soul energy, but that's not the soul energy. So the soul is perfectly anchored to the Mooladhara. So whatever we do, it is anchored, stable there. So that is the correct position. Then that is the point where center of mass and center of gravity coincides. So in this Nama Molakota Traikalevara, the skeleton effect is described just like the parrot that is captured in a cage. So if the parrot flies off, what is left is just a cage, and that is skeleton. So the parrot is the life force. So the parrot has it flown off means it has terminated. So it is the Rudra terminated in the Rudra, and Asti means we are not able to locate ourselves, not able to. There is an identity crisis that has happened. That is Asti. So the opposite of Asti is Sthiti. So Asti is related to the skeleton. So there is no individuality, there is no uniqueness, there is no identity left for the skeleton. That is Kalevara. So the opposite of this lack of the identification or the uniqueness is because lack of the Srushti Sthiti Laya, that is Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra. So through their identification, through their personality, the body gets an identification, and the skeleton gets the life force. So the skeleton gets a true identification, a personality, through this Trimurti. Therefore, this Nama Molakotatraya Kalevara provides the nourishment to the skeleton, and hence it gives them the identification. So through this sloka, Mola Mantratmika Molakotatraya Kalevara, the soul energy, soul energy reflected in the faculty of intellect through Mula Mantratmika, and the soul nourishment through the soul energy nourishment, the Trimurtis getting the identification or personality. So, Molakoda Trayakalevara reflects the personality of Trimurti. So, this Shloka, Mola Mantra Atmika, Molakoda Trayakalevara, provides training to faculty of intellect and faculty of personality. The remaining namas we will explore in the next episode. Thank you.